Hey family, it's Tammy. Somebody recently asked me, how do I deal with negative people? I'm a trained mediator and a chaplain, minister, and a counselor. I'm a coach. I do a lot of team building, and I'm the one who a lot of times gets sent into crisis mode to bring peace and then progress. So someone asked me for some tips on how to deal with negative people. Here's my tips. You don't have to become what the other person is. A negative person means that they see things differently than you do. So I would first challenge you to change what you believe negativity is. It's one thing to not vibe with somebody. It's another thing for somebody to be straight disrespectful. But how you deal with it, it's what's most important. I learned years ago, and I try to teach kids to respond instead of react. Because usually reacting is going to require bail money. You threw a punch, an apology, you cut somebody out, said something you didn't really mean to say. So what you want to do in that mode, in that moment, at that time, is stay settled. Because remember, just because they tripping doesn't mean you have to. A lot of times handling conflict just means being at a place of peace. Sometimes the best reaction is no reaction. The best response is no response. Let folk think what they want to think. Took me most of my grown life to understand that I don't have to explain myself, because honestly, I can explain myself. You're not going to believe it anyway. You're going to believe what you believe. So how about I just let you believe what you believe? In the moment that you have to problem solve, you have to come to a conclusion. You must step back and understand whatever has them mentally where they are is real to them. So in that moment, they're not going to receive from you because it's real to them where they are. I'll give you an example. I had a death of a loved one recently, someone very close to me, and for a few days, I just couldn't deal with people. It wasn't because I'm not loving, and it wasn't because the people weren't loving. It was because I was in mourning, and I was in a place where I was just sad. That was not the time to come at me. It wasn't the time to try to get the nice Tammy, the positive Tammy. I just needed a minute because I was hurt. So where I was, the other person could have come with great intent and still would not have had progress, because I wasn't in a place where progress could happen. So I would for you to consider that when you're in a place where you see it as negative, to first understand everybody sees things differently, and it's okay. Let them have their stuff. Maybe come back and revisit it later, or ensure that your response is one that can bring peace instead of adding fuel to the fire. You know what? I'm going to hit you later. My bad. Call me when you need me. Or we really have to talk about this. This is something important, but this doesn't look like the right time. Why don't you let me know when you have a moment? There's a lot of options to step away and not take it personal. And then there's times when you have to tell folk directly, you know what? You've said a few times you don't like me and everything else that you feel about me. And I just want you to know that that's how you feel. I don't feel that way. I think you're pretty cool. But later, I understand you have a right to your opinion. Have a good day. Let folks have their stuff. Figure out the time to revisit the situation. And most importantly, be okay with people seeing things differently than you. My tips. Talk to you soon, family. And remember, keep living and do it on purpose.